Hey everybody, Randy Kurtz here for the ISB. So this month I would like to talk about a technique in general as it relates to a condition called focal dystonia. Focal dystonia, some of you may have heard of, some not, is a condition in which through repetitive motion, neural patterns in the brain are affected, which then again affect the physicality of playing. This is usually due to repetitive motion, but unlike repetitive motion that we talk about and we try and control, for example, through changing technique a little bit, or taking breaks, or getting some kind of therapy done, or altering your practice routine or something like this, focal dystonia is something that it's a condition where your fingers will usually kind of curl up while playing and you won't even know why or understand why. They just start doing it. And it's not from cramping or fatigue or, again, a condition like we talked about before, but it just does that. It can also go outward, but usually it's more of an inward type of motion. It can happen in either hand. What happens again is through, and the subject, when I speak about this, I'm speaking somewhat authoritatively, but this information can all be found out because a lot of it is conjecture, just based on what the condition is and how best to explain it. But anyway, what happens is through this repetitive type of motion, your brain, again, gets the message that you're going to do this activity over and over and over again. And so before you even start, the brain puts it in your physical muscle motion, muscle memory as it were, that you're going to have this pain, you're going to have this cramping, and it's going to go into that position even without much work from you. So if normally it would take maybe 45 minutes of playing or something like this for this kind of thing to happen, now your brain has put it into your physical body, this pattern that it's going to happen no matter what, and you're not going to be able to play much, if at all. This is something that one can look into the case of Leon Fleischer, the pianist. There's a couple guitar players out there where this is very well known, and I think there's some bassists as well. Certainly I am aware of some. But essentially what you're trying to do then is try to break away from this happening, obviously, and trying to change your technique up so this doesn't happen. This generally is not going to happen when you're doing other tasks, meaning you're not going to cramp up when you're reaching for the doorknob, you're not going to cramp up when you're hammering shingles into the roof, you're not going to have this problem except when playing, because you've got an association now between playing this certain way and the physical, again, the physical manifestation happening to you. So what you can do to try and avoid this, and I'm bringing it up now because I think a lot of us are playing more than we normally would because of circumstances beyond our control. So what we do is we talk about playing, but maybe breaking it up a little bit. For example, if you play the same scales or modes or a practice routine every day, the same piece, etc., as part of a warm-up, try to break that up a little bit. Start by doing something else. Maybe start playing, if you usually start up top near the nut and work your way down, start down by the bridge and work your way up. That kind of thing. If you usually start out slow, start out by playing maybe a couple of faster pieces without straining and doing too much repetitive motion, because we don't want you to have a normal tendinitis kind of thing happen either. But what I'm saying is simply break it up a little bit. There's a lot to be said about playing the instrument and making every note count, not watching TV or something like that. But also, if you're just going to be just trying to just keep in shape, keep limber, etc., by taking your brain out of this place where it's always doing the same thing in the same order, maybe you play some scales while you're watching the TV or something, taking your mind off of what your brain is putting into your body and making you do these things. All I'm saying is essentially, took the long way to say shortly, if you are able to break up your practice routine, it's going to be better for you in the long run and possibly help to keep this kind of focal dystonia thing from setting it in. Usually we see this in players who play a lot for long periods of time, for many, many years, and not necessarily players who have had problems with tendonitis, carpal tunnel, etc., etc. So focal dystonia, something to look at, certainly something to avoid if you can. Maybe you can, maybe you can't. I don't know, and I don't think anybody else does either. But by breaking up your practice routine, this is something that can help you to avoid this. And again, especially now when we are all doing things a little bit differently anyway, maybe we're going to really get our practicing and really get that certain thing refined that we haven't before. And this may help to get you there without running into extra problems. So Randy Kurtz, always available, DRKERTZ at drkertz.com. My book, The Basis Guide to Injury Management, Prevention, and Better Health, available from my website and from Amazon. And Skype consultations also available. I've been doing many more of those lately since we've all, again, have been having to adapt to different circumstances. So thanks to those who have reached out. And if I can help you out, please get a hold of me. And I hope to see you soon. Thank you. Bye-bye.